I have been going live. I have been doing videos for 5+ years. And nearly every time I hit that go live button or I get ready to release a video, a voice in my head says, "Who are you to be teaching anybody anything?" It's imposter syndrome. It's imposter syndrome saying, "Hey, I'm not qualified to be doing what I'm doing here." And, I sometimes want to give in because, I have that self-depreciating humor. That's kind of my style. But then I'm thinking before the show, who am I going to help tonight? Who is going to benefit from this information that I'm going to share? Who needs to hear what I'm going to say about something? And the biggest thing about this whole imposter syndrome is that we have a habit of comparing ourselves to others. We absolutely compare ourselves to people that have been doing this for a long time. And so we're not that person. Our 100th video is not the same as somebody else's first video. And that person that's doing their first video that's comparing against your 500th video, they're just setting themselves up for failure in their mind because they can't hit the ball right out of the gate. They cannot. Maybe they're lucky or maybe they are gifted and they can. I did not have confidence when I first went live, when I first made videos. I didn't have confidence. My tutorial videos, it's easier to have confidence because I am explaining something that I know, and I know that I know it. I know that I know it. But when I'm going live, I'm like, why am I going live? Is anybody going to benefit from this? Because what do I know? But I know some things. I've seen some things. I've done some things. I'm like, I was thinking about before the show, I'm like, the thing that brings me the biggest joy about having a YouTube channel is because I have had people leave comments to tell me how much that video helped them or how much that video meant to them. I had Education Online 360 tell me, "Great advice, Roy." I had another person say, "Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. All the best from Brazil." I had somebody say, "This was really good. This hits home for a lot of creators. Thanks for sharing." I had somebody else say, "Wow, I just became a volunteer, and as an older gal, I find it challenging to even become proficient. So I'm grateful I found this." "Bruh, you saved me a week of work." So, some tutorial that I did, somebody said, "Bruh, you saved me a week of work." I had someone say, "You have great content and a few of your videos helped me. I hope to see more videos from you in the future." I had another person say, "I'm noticing a shift in your recorded videos and I love it. You're leaning in to help others who've had the similar struggles in this journey. Thanks for being you." And then one of my favorites, "Would have to be one of your best videos. Clear hook that got me in, and then you delivered what you promised. Excellent. I wanted your interpretation, and you delivered." Those comments are diamonds to me. They are. And as you go through your content creation journey and your process, you're going to have videos where people leave positive comments like that. Have I had negative comments? Absolutely. People have left some mean things, and that's them. Hurt people hurt others, as I've heard it said. And so when we think, "Man, I am just not worthy to go live and tell people this stuff," and if you've put in the homework, if you have put in the study, if you put in the research, if you have done the ideation, if you have put the effort in, and somebody's going to benefit from what you are sharing. You know, every time you go live, every time you make a recorded video, you're getting better. You are getting better slowly but surely. You know, I used to joke that, well, it's the truth. Mr. Beast said, you know, you got to make 50 to 100 bad videos before you get good. And I used to joke, well, I've made 1,000. I've got to be getting close. So, you know, it's true. I actually deleted a bunch of videos so that I wouldn't be at that 1,000. But no, I actually deleted videos because I knew that they were diluting my channel for what I was really trying to accomplish here. And so I went through and deleted a bunch of stuff. And so, you know, I didn't wake up confident on camera. Nobody does. In fact, I love the fact that I still get nervous before I go live. And I say that that nervousness is your body's way of saying, I'm going to do my best. I'm striving for the best possible. I think if you get to the point where you're not nervous before you go live, then you got to change it up. You've got to put yourself in a different place. You've got to make a change in what you're doing and the way you're doing it. You don't want to get repetition. You don't want to get boring any more than I already am. So I just that whole thing. And so I have been struggling of late with some imposter syndrome, and it has kept me from creating. And I'm like, dude, I got to shake out of this. I got to get out of the ditch that I've ran into. And I got to realize that there are times when I do videos that people really do appreciate. I'm not going to say I make great videos. I say I make good videos, and I make evergreen videos. I'm not a viral content creator. I'm not going for 1 million views on a video. There's no video on my channel that's ever going to get 1 million views unless I do something really insane, and that's my last video. Maybe that's the way I go out. It's that last video I do where I have an accident or something. I don't know. Anyway, people like to see train wrecks, but you know, that's what it is. And so I want to know tonight, have you ever felt imposter syndrome? Have you ever felt like I am a fake? I am not who I say I am. You know, I want to know. Tell me in the comments. And if you're so willing to share a moment when you have felt imposter syndrome, that would be amazing. I would love to hear that because others can benefit from your stories. And that is the other part about content creation, is that just that. Others can benefit from your stories. You know, it's funny that way. But that's how it goes. Let's see what everybody else is saying out there tonight. I see some folks. Let's find my shout out button. Ta-da! Psh, oop, I'm split in half. Cut me back. All right, here we go. Ta-da! It's John. How are you doing, sir? Welcome. Welcome. There you are. Yes. I was hiding in the shadows, and then out of nowhere I appeared. Where I salute. Hey, man, how you doing, man? I'm just not a sports person, but I saw you live last night. I dropped off a little bit, just watched, but I didn't have any comments because I'm really not a sports person, so I couldn't really help there. This isn't a conversation I can help with, so I'll just listen. So yeah, I get the same feelings before going live. Hey, Florence, it's the real Florence Donald. Absolutely. Hello, tech people. It's about improving the quality of life for people on YouTube and in live through videos. Amen. That is so true. It is so true, because when you get that feeling that, hey, I've helped somebody, then even if it didn't get a bunch of views, I still think that's a winning video for me. I really do. So, Mikey, when a video does poorly, I feel like I'm not supposed to be doing this. Yeah, I have times like that. I look at the analytics. I'm like, oh man, the analytics are the worst. They kick you in the teeth. You know, they absolutely do. They kick you in the teeth. You're just like, man, I made that video. I thought it was gonna be great. It did terrible. I hate that. I mean, last week's live stream, I probably shouldn't have gone live. I was exhausted, but I love going live so much. But I was exhausted and not my best, and so I in hindsight, I'm like, man, I feel bad about that. But then I'm like, do I take the video down? Well, somebody watched it, so I even had somebody at church watch my video, and they said, oh man, I laughed so hard because I've been through the struggles you have on trips where things just went crazy. So, okay. And admittedly, that video isn't in line with what I usually do, but I was too tired to do the topic I had planned. But the weekend's travel was top of mind because so many weird, crazy things happened. And so hey, you know what? If you're on Team Replay, I'll put a link about right here that says, hey, go watch that video. I made a shorter version of it that isn't as boring. So if you want to know the story of what happened to me on my travels over 4th of July weekend, it's out there as a recorded video, so you can skip the live version that carried it on too long. But yeah, Mikey, I can so relate to that because I've been there, and I will go back there. I will make a video that nobody watches, and so those times you gotta give yourself grace. Remember that your chapter 3 and somebody else's chapter 300 is not going to be the same. They have been and have experienced and have gone and done a lot of things, and they have, like I joke, I break things so you don't have to. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. So you can see we're human, and we just try to do our best. And yeah, so that's, just remember that confidence isn't a prerequisite for creating. It's the reward for creating consistently. And I as I said earlier, I didn't wake up confident on camera. I just had to keep getting in front of the camera, and I had to say, hey, the camera is your window to your friends. So you guys being my friends, this is the window I'm looking through to see you out there. And I see you. I do see you. You're out there, and I know. And I'm on a roller coaster right now. I have this big project at work that, yeah, it's one of the biggest projects I've worked on. It's one of the most important projects I've worked on. And it's keeping me awake. It's preventing me from sleeping. And it is consuming my energy. And so it's I'm just gonna be me and just say I'm doing the best I can. I'm not getting to be online as much. Fake confidence is indistinguishable from real confidence. 100% true. I guess I would say that's true, but fake authenticity, people can smell a mile away. If you're being fake, they will see it, they will know, and they will sometimes call you out. Yeah. That's the fun of it. Yeah. That's where I'm at. All right. That was top of mind tonight. I wanted to tell you where I was at, what I was going through. I don't know, just if nothing else, to commiserate, to say, hey, if you're going through the same thing, I've been there. I'll go through it myself. And interesting, isn't it? I think about this channel, and I think about what do I want it to accomplish. And I mentioned last week I was going to work toward a pivot. I didn't know what to do on my Tuesday night yet because I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. And I don't want to miss this. But I'm going to work on tutorial videos, and I'm having some challenges getting prompted and motivated because I'm devoting a lot of energy to other stuff. And so, you know, like my friend Walter Strong the third, you know, it's a challenge to work that day job or night job or third shift or second shift. I've worked all shifts, and be a content creator too. You know, this is the side hustle that doesn't make any money, right? Yeah, so, but I enjoy it. So, let's see. I want to show you my Buy Me a Coffee page. Why do I want to show you that? Because I finally got my vowels. So it used to be that I couldn't do the full length, my full username on Buy Me a Coffee. And so this week I got to playing around with, I can have my full username now, my full brand name, I guess you want to call it, if that's the thing you call things. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's see, full screen. What's it look like? Full screen. And let's edit this full screen to be the other full screen. Primary display. There we go. All right. So I've revamped my Buy Me a Coffee page some. I got some more work to do, of course, but I revamped it some, and I could finally do Tech Troublemaker because it was Tech Trouble MKR. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. I want my whole name, man. So this week, yes, I was able to get my full name. And why did I do this? Because I'm working on publishing an app. So I want to show you something that I've been working on. This only works on Mac. I'm sorry, I haven't got to the point where I'm writing apps for other OSs yet. But I was playing around, and I said I can do this. So I wrote an app, and I call it Lazy Teleprompter. And this only works on Mac, and I have in the Mac Apple Store probably by the weekend. It's free. It's free. I'm not charging anything for it. It's going to be free. And so, but the cool thing about this is that you can open HTML or markup, or you can open up a Word document or a PDF if it's a simple one. And so, like, I actually had a teleprompt. I did a prompt for tonight, and kind of wrote a loose script. I haven't stuck to it, but I thought, hey, the problem I always see is that I've got this Elgato prompter on my desk, and sometimes it's a hassle to put the camera in there. And lately I've been using my iPhone as my camera. So I said, hey, what I'll do is I'll create this. You open it, you click on auto. It does a countdown, and then it will start scrolling. And you tell it what speed you want. Here, it goes to 11. And you can tell how many lines you want. The lowest I went down to was 4. And then you can resize it here on the edge and drag it around, so you can like resize any way you want. If it does this, you just add it, and then it'll clear up all the white space. And then the other part is you can change the colors of it. So you go to settings, and first of all, if you don't like that little 3, 2, 1 countdown, you can do away with that. But you can change the colors. So it's like, maybe I want black, but I want the text color to be green. So whatever is reading is a reading for you. And I'm finding 2 is the speed for me to be able to read through it. And I'm using this because, and I made it so that it will float above all other windows. So I can put it on the monitor for the computer, for the screen that I'm using, and I can move it out of the way, and it just hovers above everything. And so whether I'm using Ecamm or if you're using OBS, it will let me scroll through a teleprompter script if I had one. And so, but I always do like bullet points and stuff. And then if you decide that, then you can reset it. And then there's a help page that tells you all the cool stuff about what it does and how it works. Reset, auto, 3, 2, 1, and then it'll start. So I wanted a way to be able to prompt through documents because it just made me crazy. So, but like I said, it'll be in the Mac App Store, and it's going to be free. I am going to say, hey, if you want to give a donation on, my Buy Me a Coffee page, you can. So that's what I'm going to do. Is if anybody wants to actually give a donation, they can. So that's why I was playing around with Buy Me a Coffee, because that's what's going back to what do. But let's see, Miss Denise. Yes, hi Roy, and yes, we all suffer imposter syndrome. I know I do from time to time. I find it difficult to charge for products I create. I'm used to giving things away for free. Yeah, I am not a salesperson. I don't feel comfortable asking for money. That's why last year this this business of mine didn't make anything. So because I don't know how to ask for money, and so anyway, my real goal anyway is just to get this channel where it supports itself. I'm not. There's no millionaire here, 100,000aire here. So, Mr. Strong says we all have to support one another through. Let's try it again. We have to all support one another through those slow times. It's true. And that's why my thought process is content creators helping other content creators. That very much feel like, all the ships in the harbor rise when the tide comes in, and so I want to help other people. So when you're going through imposter syndrome, I want to help you, and when I'm going through imposter syndrome, I want you to come and help me. And it's a relationship that we all can thrive on by helping each other. And I want us all to be successful. I'm so excited for Tallboy. He hit 1,000+ subs. He's kicking it out. He's doing well. He's found a system that works for him, and he's got the subscribers. So I am very excited for him. I'm very happy for him that he's doing so well now. So he just got to keep on doing what he's doing and get there, and he will. So very excited about that. All right. Well, so what's your why? What's your why? How does what you do help others? And if it helps others, then you got every right to be excited about what you're doing and not consider yourself an imposter. An imposter doesn't help others. An imposter it says, I'm learning to make the offer, but trust me, I get it. I'm not a salesperson, but if you have value to offer, you're helping them by making the offer. That's true. That's a true statement. There are people that offer things out there that I have bought that I've gotten great value from, and the prices were very reasonable, and they, good stuff. If you are giving people value, you're not an imposter. It could be your channel is just entertainment. Okay, if you're entertaining people and they're telling you, you're doing great. Yeah. So keep on. Keep doing what you're doing. You got stories to tell. You have stories to tell. That's it. That's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. And if you're watching this on replay, #Team Replay. Let me know. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Bye. YouTube's going to say watch this video here or this video here. There'll be videos here. You should watch whatever YouTube tells you. It's serious.
Tech Troublemakers here to help you all, from thumbnails to titles.